Hi everyone, welcome back to my messy garden. So today I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup. I wanted to show you these gorgeous cosmos here. I'm going to be collecting some of these cosmos seeds, and look at that ferny texture. So this one is in a pot, so it adds even more height. But I highly recommend cosmos because you buy a packet of seeds for like a few bucks, and you can have flowers for years, because they'll self-seed, or you can spread the seeds. They grow so easily, and they are prolific bloomers. The bees just love them. Look at the access to pollen they have. So they're just like a win-win-win. And I can show you this flower has gone over, but this one, so these are the seeds here. So you can just take these seeds and put them in a plastic bag or a brown bag, and you have lots of seeds from one flower. This one is just gorgeous. I have purples, pinks, whites. So I can just show you over here, this stand here. This one kind of self-seeded. And my weakness is when things self-seed, I can't pull them out. I just let them be. I just think they just have this will to survive and let them go because they're so beautiful too. And I should deadhead these today as well as take seeds, but you can see like there's still buds on these. See all those buds? These are still going strong, and it is mid-October. So plant some cosmos, and like these ones I really like because they have like that eye, the deeper, darker eye in the middle. So I'm definitely going to collect these seeds for sure. And honestly, like I have way too many seeds. Like I get so many from these, I don't even use them all in a season. All right, and since we're out here, I will give you a quick update on the bed that I sheet mulched. So I'm really pleased with the sheet mulching suppressing the weeds and how everything is going here. Here we have these ones in the front are the wild rose, and they're doing really well. So this first one was actually looking pretty bad when I put it in. If I look back at the video, it was like sun scorched. It was like looked like it was on its last legs, and you can see the vibrant color. It's like just thriving. So I'm happy about that. Back here we have mahogany monster. That one looks great. I have some anemone here and here that has just finished blooming. It'll just get stronger over time. I have the hopscotch here, those three. Those look amazing, and the things that are not looking so great are the dicentra, which I expected. So, those die back in the winter, so that's kind of on its way out. I do have, those are the new version, and I have some traditional ones that you can't even see right now because they've gone away for the winter. My campanula here, Rapido Blue, those three look like they have kind of gone over. I'm hoping they're not dead and that they've just gone over for the winter. I'm not sure how those grow because it's the first time I've put those in. I have another one a little bit further in the bed, this one here that still has some leaves. So I'm hoping that's just their natural habit and it'll come back next year. And these are the self-seeded snapdragons here. I'm happy to have those self-seed again. This is the Johnson's Blue geranium, which I bought like small plants of. They were really hard to find geranium. I was trying to find roseate. I found Johnson's Blue instead. So hopefully those bloom next year. They did not bloom this year because they were just so small, but they've put on a lot of growth. And I'm hoping they just kind of spill over this edge and soften that edge. My lamium is doing wonderfully. It has grown and spread, which is exactly what I wanted for under this. This is a weeping birch tree, a type of dwarf weeping birch tree. So I do want that lamium to spread. It's just such a bright pop of color. It actually even has some bloom on it. So you could see that pink bloom there. Just love it. And so this can spread. I want it to spread, but if you don't, I would be careful where you put it. Like this garden bed is bound on two sides by sidewalk, so it's not gonna get out of control here. And if it does, I'll just take it out, or remove parts of it. But yeah, I do want it to spread. So someone was telling me it's invasive. I actually want that effect. Sometimes you want that effect with plants. I believe this one here is a bright and breezy Heuchera, and it was not doing well in the back, and right now it looks like it's doing pretty good out here. It was drowning in the back, so it's a drier bed out here, which is nice. Here I have a little frilly, which I got on clearance. It's little now, but hopefully it will put on some size in the next year. And I have another frilly Heuchera right here, and I just love that ruffled texture. I have more of these in the back as well. Okay, so I just love talking about these plants. I love coming out here, seeing the progress, the growth. So this one I believe is called Cutting Edge. I think it's a foam flower or Heucherella. It's not doing as great. You know, come to think of it, it might be Pink Fizz. Pink Fizz. Yeah, I think it is Pink Fizz because it puts on these pink blooms. Anyways, that's why, you know, it's good to have tags because some things look alike and it's hard to remember everything when you have so many plants. The hopscotch, I have the mahogany monster in the back, which are, you can see the subtle color difference between the wild rose and the mahogany monster there. But beautiful, beautiful. And going back, let's look at, I have a little boxwood, kind of the anchor, and that's like that's the evergreen interest here, and that'll be there all winter. I did want to share that I put some lemon coral sedum right in this corner just to brighten it up, and it's still there, which is good. Somebody told me you could try overwintering it, so I'm going to try that. Here I have a pumpkin spice Heuchera, which is one of my favorites. I love those ones, and there's another one here and another one here. So I have like a trio of them, and it kind of echoes this triangle in the corner here, which I thought was pretty cool. This is a salvia, looks amazing when it's in bloom. Here is another one of those Pink Fizz, and because I love the pumpkin spice Heuchera so much, I got another one because I feel like I can't have too many of those, and it was on clearance. Couldn't resist buying it. So I'll just take a walk over here and show you this pumpkin spice. It looks a little worse for wear, but it will bounce back in the spring and look amazing. The colors are just irresistible to me. I just love them. Here's the tag. See if I can focus on that. Okay, let me do it this way. Pumpkin spice, foamy bells, Heucherella. So a Heucherella, not a Heuchera. It says it's a 2-gallon pot or number 2 pot, and it is $15.99, but I did get it on clearance for $5. Got it from Lowe's, and it was final sale. There's some planting directions there. Full sun apart shade, zone 4A. It's 10 inches tall, 10 to 12 inches. It has a kind of a whitish flower on the top, a creamy white. And it's just beautiful. Like, can't speak highly enough about that. And I just wanted to also update my Pulmonaria has almost doubled in size, so that's exciting. Pulmonaria I think is evergreen, so that's going to look good all winter long. And more lamium, so everything is looking really good in this bed. Things that are going over for winter are doing their thing. Things that are evergreen are still looking good, and the weeds are suppressed with that cardboard and the mulch, so you know it's progressing really nicely. And I think I can put in this Heuchera right where I potted, right where that pot is. I put this cardboard down just to suppress more weeds because I couldn't get under there. I ran out of mulch. But once I put that in, I think I can clean up this edge here. So today I'm just going to do a little bit of garden cleanup. I'm going to put this pumpkin spice in, and I'm going to try to collect some cosmos seeds. So here I am trying to plant this pumpkin spice Heucherella, and just wanted to show you. It was very tough digging with the shovel, and then I kind of panicked because I thought I hit a pipe, but If you look down here, this is what I thought was a pipe because it goes right under the sidewalk. So I was like, oh no, I might have hit like a gas line or a water line or something. But it turns out it's actually a root. So it must be a root from the tree up here. So it's pretty thick, so I'm not going to cut it or anything. I'm going to just move my planting over from here, where I was going to plant it, just over a little bit to the right. And I'm going to just slowly dig with this shovel, and also have this little tool here. It's plastic, so it gets a little bit more, you can do a little bit more fine digging around. So we've got this pumpkin spice Heucherella in here, foamy bells. And like I said, I had to bump it over because of a root that's here. So here I'll probably just put eventually maybe something shallow rooted, maybe some more lamium, something to cover that, or I'll just leave it the way it is. But I think that will do really well here. And I'm happy to add more pumpkin spice to my collection. Probably gonna cut this back at some point, but it's evergreen, I believe, so I'm gonna leave that for now. It's a pretty established shrub. You can see it has some new growth on here. Anyways, pretty satisfied with what I accomplished today. I have all these plants that I buy and then forget that there's hard work involved in getting them in the ground as well. So I have that in today. I cut back some hostas today, planted some coneflower, four coneflower. So overall, pretty good day. The weather's been really nice. It's 16 or 17 degrees Celsius, which is about 60 or 62 degrees Fahrenheit, overcast. So it's been very pleasant. I've just been here in jeans and a t-shirt and haven't been cold at all. So I'm just going to be cutting back these hostas. You can see that they are looking worse for wear. They've turned kind of yellow. And the reason I'm cutting them back is because I don't want the debris to overwinter slugs and snails, because we are very wet in this area. And that is something that likely will happen, so I'm going to leave a little bit of stem and cut back the leaves because they're pretty much done. And this is the tool I'm going to use, just a snipper, and you can use kind of any kind of secateur. Pretty easy to do. So the reason that we cut back these hostas, or the reason I'm doing it now, is because of slugs. And there you go. There's I think it's called a banana slug. That's a cutback hosta. So it was just at the base of that. And I'll show you this one hosta I'm about to cut back, and hopefully don't come across any slugs because they have the most gross texture. Okay, so here is the after. I've chopped back that hosta. I left some stems just so I know that it's there for next year, so I don't accidentally plant something next to it. And just these ones, I did leave a few of the leaves up still that are still looking okay, but I did do quite a bit of cleanup on them. And sure enough, there were slugs in there. So yeah, make sure you do wear gloves when you're doing this job, because there's nothing more gross than the feeling of a slug on your hand, on your skin. And here is a little ladybug. I think they're called ladybirds in Britain, but that's a positive sign, I believe. So that's good. So here's another example of a cutback hosta, and next to it a slug. Again, one of my least favorite jobs is cutting these back because it has just rained, so there are a lot of slugs. This one had a bunch of spiders in it as well. Yeah, I think they're crab spiders. Anyways, one of my least favorite garden jobs. and this is why sometimes I don't even do this job. Just leave them, let the hostas die back on their own, and they come up fine in the spring. And I have a visitor in the garden. So this little kitty cat is, I'm not sure whose cat this is, but he always comes, says hello to me when I'm in the garden often. I've seen him around for a couple of years. So it's nice to have. I think he or she is helpful in the garden, getting rid of some pests. Right? Okay, but sometimes he gets in the way. So I'm trying to cut back this hosta here. This guy has other ideas. Here's a good example of hostas that are going to be cut back. This one's completely gone, and honestly I can just pull that up by hand. You don't need any tools when it's at that stage. They're just really easy to grab and pull out. And the other ones, I'll probably just cut back the yellow leaves of those. This cat will just let me do some work. Loves to get right in the way. So that's this is the work I've already done. So I've gotten a bunch of hosta leaves out of there already. I haven't realized I have a lot of hostas. So normally I just don't even do this, but I'm trying to reduce the slugs because our garden is very wet in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm hoping by taking these hosta debris out that it will reduce that population. And so this is super easy. Usually these ones just pull right out, these leaves. So you can just see, if I give them a tug, pretty easy to pull these out. They just come out right like that. And I will just cut off the ones that are a little bit harder to pull off. So I will use these to just chop off and then collect the debris. And after you just chop these off, what you do, sorry, I have to do this one-handed because I have the camera in one hand. After you've chopped it off, you just collect the leaves and put them in the compost, and that one's done. And I leave a little bit of a stem just so I know where everything is. This is a pretty small bed, so I know where the hostas are, but just in case, I just leave those stems. That won't do any harm. And make sure you wear gloves because there's nothing worse than having a slug on your hand. Okay, so here's the after. I cleaned up this one. This one was the worst, and basically I just left some stems so I know where it is. This one was pretty good. It's Proven Winners water slide, and it's got thicker leaves, so that one still looks pretty good. These ones, I just took off the kind of worst leaves and left it because they still look really nice. So that one is done. So these are some Echinacea that I purchased on clearance because I have some places where I could put these. And it's October, luckily they're still in bloom, so I can show you what color they are. And they've been sitting here for a little bit longer than they should have. So I got 4 of them, and the variety, let's see if I can find a tag. Okay, so they're from Home Depot, and they're an Echinacea Cone-Fections Pink Double Delight. The color is pale pink salmon. They're originally $9. I think I got them for $3, and I got 4 of them. Here we go. They're perennial. They need full sun. And it says they bloom early summer to fall. They get 38 to 46 centimeters tall. They like well-drained soil. Echinaceas like it dry. So I have not seen them be double, but if you Google the pictures, they are double. So hopefully next year, that's how they will look. Now I'm going to plant them in my side garden bed. So I have this raised area here where the retaining wall was or is. And I'm going to be planting this Echinacea right in here because this is kind of a temporary bed until this wall is replaced by our neighbors. But I've already have some Echinacea in here, and because this is a well draining area and it's dry, I think Echinacea will do really well here. So I'm going to put this Echinacea, kind of dot it throughout this garden bed, raised garden bed. And actually I did a little bit of weeding here. This is creeping buttercup and it's kind of taking over. Even though I had a lot of mulch down, it's like going through the mulch. So I think the more I plant in here, the better to cover that ground. And then I can add some more mulch, but you know, it's tough to plant this because I know it's only temporary, but also I'd rather have something nice to look at. So I've got my little hand spade here, and this is why I like buying smaller plants because they're easy to plant. So I'm going to put it right in this spot here. Okay, I just wanted to give a final update on the Echinacea or coneflower that I put in. So what I ended up doing is I had quite a bit of weeding to do, but I put one here, right there next to that Cosmo, and then one right here, and there's a Juga in the middle, Burgundy Glow, and then just swinging over this way with the other two on the other side of this post here. So there is one right here. You can see the flowers up there. There's an Ajuga in the middle, and then the other one is right here. So there is a little bit of symmetry there. So the 4 total, 2 and 2, the post in the middle. So this Cosmo it's an annual, so it will be gone. And nice addition. Hopefully these will do well. I think they will. As you can see, the ground I did a pretty good job weeding, I think. There was a lot of creeping buttercup and things like that in there, which is that weed there. It's very spreads, but shallow rooted, so it's quite easy to pull out, especially after it's rained. The good thing about this bed is that it is raised, so you don't have to do a lot of bending, which is lots of work on your back if you have to do it on the ground. But because this is kind of waist high, that's nice. So I'm gonna fill this bed until this wall is replaced and the fence goes up. It's a fairly sunny spot, and I'm just gonna fill it up as much as I can because I don't want weeds in there, and I don't want to see, just, it used to be full of blackberries and things like that. So it's been a lot of work clearing it, and I don't want, there's horsetail in there, weed as well. So the more plants I put in there, the better, because that'll choke out the weeds hopefully. And I want that lamium to spread, I want that ajuga to spread. I'm leaving up the coneflowers, hopefully those will spread. I think that was a wildberry one, or a Granada Gold. There's some white ones in there. And yeah, basically I'm trying to choke out the weeds. And then at some point, I don't know when my neighbor is going to replace this, but hopefully it will be soon. I'm hopeful that I can save some of these plants. But in the meantime, it's nice to have something beautiful to look at instead of just like basically junk. All right. Before I finish my video, I just wanted to show you that I purchased these yews yesterday. On my lunch hour, I went to Home Depot just to take a look around. It was a different Home Depot that I usually don't go to. So since I was in the area, I thought I'd pop in, and I found these 4 yews on clearance. And you can see, this is the tag. It says part sun shrub, yew if taxus ex media. And it doesn't really tell you much on this tag, but you can see the yews are evergreen and there's some new growth, so it's pretty healthy. And these are really tough plants, and the variety of this yew, this is called a rising star. So it's a 2-gallon pot, Taxus M rising star yew. It gets 50 to 60 centimeters wide and 1 to 2 meters tall. It's sun or part shade. And it was originally $20, and I got them half off. They were $10 each. So that was, I think, a pretty good deal. And I got 4 of them. So I have one other yew in the yard that has been there for years. It never gets water. It's extremely drought tolerant. And as our summers are getting hotter and hotter, I think it's good to have plants that can handle the heat. And these plants, I think, are going to be wonderful evergreen interest in the yard. I have an idea of where I'm going to put them, but haven't finalized that yet. And I was really debating if I should buy them or not, because a part of me was like, if you don't have a space to put them, why are you buying them? And then there was just too good of a deal to pass up, and I think I know where I'm going to put them. So more evergreen interest is always good. And look at that deep dark green color. I think that's beautiful. They grow more of an upright habit. So these are all male, so they won't produce berries, which are poisonous. So that's good. So I think this 4 are a pretty good buy, and we will see where they go. So going back here, I can show this is the yew that we've had in our yard for many years. So it's kind of like an anchor piece at the corner of this garden bed. I didn't install this garden bed, but it rarely gets water. And you can see these are the berries. To be honest, the berries to me always look kind of fake, but they're not, they're real. They look like plastic to me, but you can see like these are the berries. And these berries are, I believe, poisonous. So it's good that the ones that I just bought, they won't have berries being male. They won't have a cross-pollinator. And this yew is actually pretty tall. It's probably 6 feet or so tall. So it's a good exclamation point type of anchor for this garden bed. But yeah, it's in a dry, hot area and it never gets watered. This whole bed is pretty dry. So I think that means that I have a good chance with the yews that I just bought. And stay tuned to see where I put them.